Hello, everybody. Welcome to Deep Talk. My name is Jan Kanty-Milczek, and again, this Deep Talk will actually constitute of people talking because we have a guest again. And this is a very special guest, Dr. Ambica Rajagopal. She's the Group Chief Data and AI Officer at Michelin. She's spearheading Michelin's focus on AI and data transformation in various areas like AI applications, AI infrastructures, AI research, data democratization, data governance, and more. Ambica is active in global AI networks and industry forums, guiding the development of AI as a technology with a specific focus on manufacturing and industrial use cases, of course. So I'm very glad to have you here, Ambica, and welcome. Let's have a great, productive discussion on AI in manufacturing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jan, and the DeepSense team. It's always my pleasure to talk with companies like yours, where you're really thinking about AI in a deep way.
Okay, very happy about this. So let's start with an opening jingle. Could you explain how AI creates opportunities for large enterprises like Michelin? How critical is AI for, I would say, quote unquote, classic enterprises and manufacturers like Michelin, such storied companies? How do you approach AI?
Yes. So we have been at Michelin. We have been on the AI transformation journey for many years now, 5 to 6 years, and it's really been and I've been part of that for 3.5 years. And the response of the organization in terms of the interest that we see from the various from manufacturing, from R&D, from sales and marketing, and now post generative AI revolution, from a number of various streams within the enterprise has only justified the vision that we had. That AI is something that is a critical enabler for Michelin. AI is a technology which fundamentally excels at modeling processes that are difficult to understand, that are difficult to model through traditional methods. Okay, so this could be a manufacturing process. This could be English language as ChatGPT has done, or a human reasoning response as ChatGPT has done, or it could be what our customers are saying about us. So these are complex processes, but they are specific to an enterprise. So in most often we find that the use cases that are of most value are specific to us. So we are talking about using AI to model processes that are specific to Michelin.
Okay, thank you so very much. What you mentioned specifically, processing, natural language processing, English, is a topic I wanted to grab because for me at least, save for some run-of-the-mill use cases like sentiment analysis from internet comments or things like that, I would assume that natural language processing is not relevant to the core of Michelin's business, which might be very wrong. So I wanted to know, how do you approach the implementation of experimental technologies like currently the hyped technology of LLMs or ChatGPTs, or however we want to call them, and how do you prioritize between those different AI use cases, especially when they touch upon completely different areas?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I think the first and foremost point, the starting point when we talk to any line of business, maybe our B2C business, maybe our trucking business, or maybe our folks in legal. So when we speak to them and we begin the conversation on what kind of AI use cases do you have. What we really like to talk about is what kind of processes would you see that could be impacted by generative AI. We look at what kind of what kind of where do you actually see a potential for modeling the process that could bring either a top line or a bottom line impact. So we like to have a wider discussion that is agnostic of the specific AI technology first. And from this, we look at our prioritization process focuses on the value, of course, that is to be delivered, the difficulty of it. But in fact, what trumps both of these aspects in terms of prioritization is the data available. And many people, believe that it's not possible to do AI. You need to get all your data, very well, data governance, everything in order. We can talk a little bit more about that later. But my advice is always, and what we followed at Michelin is, to get started with, where we feel we have a relatively okay amount of data, to begin the exercise. So the data trial question in terms of prioritization is typically, the biggest one. In terms of how we go about advocating or using technologies like LLM, of course, for our we specifically instituted a program that we call Game Changer Generative AI at Michelin that takes care of all aspects, addresses all aspects of generative AI. So we've divided that into sort of 4 quadrants. So one is around productivity for knowledge workers, and here we are partnering with Microsoft to look at and to bring the productivity tools for folks like ourselves through generative AI. The second quadrant that we have is on productivity for developers. I mean, this is a huge field. Of course, our developers are very, very excited. But here, I think the real focus for us has been to really, to really frame what can generative AI bring to developers in terms of their own productivity. So creating time for collaboration, thinking about design, for innovation. This is really what we are focusing on. The third quadrant is on customer dialogue. So we strongly believe that having there's a huge opportunity that has been created by LLMs, by generative AI, to bring a kind of fluency. It's there's an emotional angle to it. If you talk to if you talk to ChatGPT, it feels like ChatGPT understands you, potentially even better than your partner, right? So you ask a question, and somebody's listening. And I think this kind of magical emotional connect that natural language, fluent natural language brings is what we want to bring, to all aspects of art. That fluency, that emotional connect is what is our aim to bring, and we have several things, and which we hope to be talking about more openly soon, in the already at advanced level of testing on that. And then, the final quadrant is knowledge assistance, which is essentially, to be able to look at, to allow folks to use natural language to be able to access insights from large corpuses of data. So this could be from our R&D folks, looking at documentation around a specific area of study. It could be our employees looking at, answering questions from policy around employee policies. So we have many such use cases that are in motion. And to facilitate all this, I think there are 2 really important horizontal areas. So one is to keep the data secure. So we have a specific implementation that we are in the process of doing to provide a safe and secure playground for LLMs, for experimentation with LLMs, for anybody in the organization. We believe that this is going to be a real game changer. The second aspect is, of course, our security framework around LLMs. We've put a lot of thought into that, a lot of research into really developing, and it's not freely available, and it's not something I believe that's sufficiently spoken about. But we've spent a lot of time to think about it and develop a security framework around the use of LLMs. So these 2 then, really the playground as well as the security framework, really allow us to accelerate on the 4 quadrants with this new technology.
That sounds riveting, and I wanted to know because you've talked about four quadrants of AI implementations, and this brings me to the realization that you probably have a lot of open or active AI projects at Michelin. Am I allowed to ask for a ballpark estimate of how many actually there are?
Well, I'm not sure I can give you the number. But I tell you what we are. What I can give you a number that we are proud of. So, the so at Michelin we have R&D and technology at our core. So it's a company that really has pioneered in terms of our core and R&D, and that curiosity, that thirst for expertise has extended to AI as well. So we have a lot of POCs in the hundreds, in the multiple hundreds that we look at. And what we are proud of is, we have a plus a success rate of about 30-35% in fact of them moving into production. So this is something that we worked very hard at, because again, as I said, value realization, and also we want our data scientists to really feel like they are impacting the business. So this is really important to us. At the end of the day, what we ask of data scientists is a great deal of innovation. We ask a creativity from our AI teams, and we really commit back to them to align the organization to have a high rate of conversion into actual business processes, so they actually feel that their work is making a large impact. Which again, I talk about this because this is an area of common pain for larger enterprises, where there are a lot of POCs, not enough of them seeing the light of the day, and that's something that we've really worked to handle.
Yep. I would say the numbers you gave me actually shocked me. I was looking for a segue into the next question, and I thought to myself, oh, if they have like 50 or more projects at once, it's going to flow beautifully. But several hundred with a high conversion rate, that's absolutely crazy. And I think one of the big things along the way, one of the big things that enable this is a structure that is ready to handle so many projects at once.
Yes.
So I wanted to know what kind of structure you have in place. How do you organize and manage responsibilities around so many projects? How do you facilitate the
Yes.
communication and decision making between?
Absolutely, I think that's a fantastic question, and it's we went through a phase where we felt we were so within the AI team, AI transformation factory as we call it. We felt like a startup, and suddenly we were scaling up at a stage where we really needed to pause and rethink. So in fact, we do spend a lot of time to consistently refine our processes to ensure that we are meeting the needs of the scale, because that we are growing at. Because at the end of the day, what we want is robust solutions that see high adoption and bring a large impact back to the and that are really enablers for Michelin to achieve its 2030 all sustainable Michelin mission. So really what we're looking at is a way to bring what is in fact a distributed organization. So we have a hub and spoke model. We have a core set of data scientists and data engineers, machine learning engineers, platform folks, etc. And we have hubs in various parts of the world, in various entities that are all working together in the form of a community. So we focus in order to really achieve the kind of impact and results that we want. First of all, I think we work very hard to build a sense of scientific community. So we have guilds, communities of practice around computer vision, around natural language processing, around forecasting, around Industry 4.0, and other areas that actually meet on a regular basis, and build a community among, let's say, the set of data scientists who are thinking of the various aspects of computer vision and at Michelin. They are not at the end of the day that many folks, but building a common joint expertise among them, that was a focus for us. In addition, we have we crowdsourced and wrote a responsible AI manifesto for Michelin with the 10 points that focus around explainability, interpretability, that talk about human in the loop, among other things. It's still in I can't talk more about it because it's still in we are still in the process of refining it and aligning it with the upcoming regulation. But in fact, it has already served as a guideline for a strict process that we have internally, a gate review process, which essentially ensures that, for example, we are treating data in the right way. We are also ensuring that we are moving towards adoption in the right way. So we have our the business process owners that are involved at the right level. We are building trust in the model as we go along. So all these are important aspects that are built into the gate review process, in addition, of course, to the more standard measures of accuracy, etc., that are normal for an AI project. So I would attribute the community, the scientific community, and the responsible AI framework and gate process that derives from that as the biggest contributors to this. And of course, the lovely people that are in this journey with me.
Okay. By the way, who's responsible for making the let's say final decision on a project, whether to move the project to the next phase or maybe just discard a project outright?
Yes.
Is this you? Is this otherwise?
So
Is this?
yeah, no. So all such decisions are made in committee. So we have a review panel. As I said, there's several steps in the gate process. There's an entire questionnaire, and there is a we have a set of. So we also have what we call our fellows. They are our internal expert community. So we have the fellows for AI who are also in the review panel. We have usually we also have the project manager or the product owner from the business side in the decision. So all these decisions are taken in a review panel.
Okay, and the review panel itself, is it more managerial types or more scientific technical types?
As I said, it's a
Or a
so
mixture?
yeah. So in general, we try not to have that that distinction. So we are one of our focus, not just for AI but for IT overall, has been to really be inclusive in terms of the kind of career journeys and paths that individuals would like to take. So we wanted to build in a strong respect for the expertise the expertise, technical expertise, and have that weighed at the same level as, let's say, managerial responsibility. So we have folks that are technical, that have teams. We have folks that are individual contributors, purely technical, and then we have business folks who are maybe in the on the business side, but again have a keen interest in technology and are very closely involved with our projects. So in fact, we have a combination of such things. We try not to exclude anybody by giving by typifying their role or something like this, and all of them have a good representation within the panel.
Okay, thank you so much. All of this tells me that Michelin has a very responsible and if I may say so, just a very good approach to implementing AI and machine learning technologies in the business. So I wanted to ask you for advice for other companies,
Yes.
especially large enterprises. What kind of challenges can they face when implementing AI, or maybe what kind of misconceptions can they and traps can they
Yes.
fall into if they execute AI wrongly?
Yeah.
So please give some advice to other
Yes.
companies.
Yes, absolutely, my pleasure. I think the first the first one I would have to start with is to really invest in expertise. At the end of the day, invest in building a community of expertise. Because at the end of the day, it's a scientific field, and having a set of people who are thinking about different aspects of AI within your organization, nurturing that community, that thought process, setting a high bar for technical excellence within that community. This is ultimately the source of all the innovation and solutions that you will have. So I would start with that. The second would be to address the data question in a different way. So rather than to get started really with AI use cases, but to choose those for which there is some amount of data that is available, and to look at other methods like either augmenting the data sets or restricting the scope, something like this, rather than waiting to have all your data in order to start on the AI transformation journey. The AI transformation journey itself will have a huge positive effect within your organization to support your data governance process. So so no need to wait for to get all your data in order. Get started on your AI, and that itself will provide you with a lot of momentum for your data governance journey. And the third part is to not neglect the process, to really to have a real focus on to real focus on building AI products, right, that get adopted, that are used in the business process. And right from the point of ideation is to really maintain this product mindset, to envisage right from the beginning. Though it's a research project, every AI is a project, is a research project, but still to have the discipline to envisage right from the beginning, what is it going to look like in the business process when it is deployed, and to really take all the decisions in the interim gates process, to really optimize towards achieving that final transformation of the business process. These are the three things that I would say.
Thank you so very much. Let's now play. Let's now play and do a little bit of futurism. Is that a word? I'm not sure. Let's say companies implement or keep implementing AI successfully. What do you think the landscape of manufacturing or maybe business outright? How do you think? What do you think it will look like in 10 years or so? So just predictions, no biggie. I don't think people are going to be checking in 10 years if we were right. So what do you think will change in the next?
Well, I think when it comes to implementation and adoption of technology, I think the if you look back at the history of automation for humanity, I think it's a success story, and it's a very positive story, because if you look at let's say even Excel, how Excel has we saw responsibility for making numbers are computed right to whether the numbers make sense. So this is really the analogy I like to give often, and I see that in my view, every step of such automation that we took has led us to be as human beings to be more and more satisfied with the jobs that we do. And this is where what I really project forward. I believe that with all the efforts including at Michelin, to really working towards structuring positive outcomes from deployments of AI, not assuming them to be a part of the technology, but really working to ensure that the outcomes are positive from a people, profit, and planet dimension from AI. I'm highly optimistic. I think that AI will increase our satisfaction in our roles, but by helping us understand further, have deeper insights into the processes that we have. So by giving us deeper insights into how our manufacturing processes works, giving us deeper insights into how our customers think, deeper insights into how our colleagues think, and more time to think, more time to design, more time to collaborate, more time to be creative. all these parts are what make us are uniquely human. And I think we can all agree that the work of everyday life has could really use with some relief, with some time, to keep for these aspects which are uniquely human. And I believe that generative AI is going to have a huge impact on that aspect. So I'm hugely positive.
Okay, thank you so much. I love how down to earth this answer is just as well. It's just the right amount of general, but also so optimistic. And I just couldn't help but smile thinking about the future when you said all that. So
Yes.
thank you very much. And maybe one last thing. I assume there might have been something you came into the interview hoping to say, and maybe I didn't set you up properly. So
Yeah.
Right now, there is. Feel free to take a few minutes to say whatever you would like our listeners, our audience, to hear about.
Yes, I think I'll come back to the point I made earlier. I think assuming that AI will have a positive or a negative effect on our workplaces, I think this is it's not a dual, and it's not something that's defined. In fact, it's going to be determined by the choices that we make. So let's look at some of the choices that we have. Looking at AI as merely as an automation aspect, as a productivity includes, as a automation include so as a way to enhance productivity through automation. I think that's a little short-sighted, and I'm always pushing for a deeper view on that. So what does productivity increase really mean? So to really go into what does it really mean to be more productive, and how can AI help us to do that through methods like explainable AI, interpretable AI, really derive, not just predict outcomes from processes, predict outcomes as to what's going to happen, what's the next forecast going to be, or what is it that where the next defect is going to be, or detecting the defects, but really to use the models to understand why, to answer the question why. And this is something that is deeply satisfying for human beings to be able to reflect and think deeper. And this is my final point, which is to say that making choices to push deeper on AI deployments beyond mere automation expectations or operational efficiency expectations. I think this is really what will and this is really what will give us positive outcomes from the technology.
Thank you so very much for those thoughts. I'm Jan Kanty-Milczek. With me is Dr. Ambica Rajagopal, the Chief Data and AI Officer at Michelin. Thank you so very much, Ambica, for being with us here today. And thanks to our audience, and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Jan and DeepSense, for having me. It was a great conversation. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.